The opportunity we have is in life is to inquire into the nature of our existence and why we are here and how we can achieve the purpose to our existence. Life has a meaning. It is not simply purposeless. We are not simply a bag of chemicals walking around waiting for it to dissipate at what we call death. As we were going through our meditation earlier, it can actually be very directly perceived and realized that we are not these bodies. These bodies are like vehicles which we are the driver of, or sometimes described as being clothes which we are wearing. And in the same way as we understand that we are not our car, and we are not our clothes, nor any of the labels or make or model of our car or clothes, similarly this body, which mostly we identify with as being our very self, has different labels and different identities, but we are none of these. We are the eternal life. We are the Atma. And sometimes people say, well, that's an interesting belief, but that is not my belief. But yoga is a process not of belief, but it is similar to a scientific process where you can actually, there is a theory, and there is a practice, there is an experiment, and then there is a result from that. So this is actually what yoga is. Yoga philosophy, teaching, yoga wisdom, yoga practice is a journey of self-discovery. So we can actually directly perceive and realize the true nature of ourself as being different from this body and this mind. We are that eternal spark of life, part of the supreme life. So the title for the discussion this evening was something like love, happiness, and wisdom. The three go together. You must have the three together. For there to be love and happiness, it must be rooted in wisdom or understanding of the reality of things. So let's start with a little bit of exploring the nature of happiness. Happiness is different than pleasure. Happiness is different than pleasure. It's important to understand this distinction. You can be experiencing some kind of physical pleasure. Pleasure, we mean eating something tasty, hearing some beautiful sounds, seeing something beautiful, the sunset at Mindle Beach or whatever, other form you may find beautiful. Experiencing something of a sense of touch, experiencing a sexual experience. So there is a pleasure which is there, correct? But you can be unhappy while experiencing that. Have you ever been sad or unhappy or depressed while tasting something nice, having a good meal? Anyone? No, just me. So, pleasure is different than happiness. Because pleasure, when it's in connection with the body and the senses connected to the body, it's described and we can experience it ourselves. Pleasure has two qualities to it. One is, it is very flickering. It comes and goes very quickly. So when you're eating something nice, there's a certain pleasure you experience on the tongue. Has anyone ever eaten ice cream with a teaspoon? You have a bowl of ice cream and you eat it with a teaspoon. You don't use the dessert spoon usually. Why do we use a teaspoon? Because you get more bites of the cherry, as they say. Right? You get to have that little taste on the tongue, that little flash of pleasure. So if we look at any kind of sensual experience, pleasure, there is directly pleasure there. But you'll find it is flickering. It comes and goes very quickly. It does not stay. It does not last. And the other quality of pleasure, material pleasure we're speaking here, is that it does not fully satisfy a person. We're not fully satisfied, completely satisfied in our life by the experience of sensual enjoyment. Whatever it might be, whether it be eating the ice cream. Have you ever eaten so much ice cream you get a sore belly? Right? And then you still want to eat some more? No? I've never done that either. I'm the standout guy here. So whether it be, again, a sexual experience, which is basically the highest experience of the body, the pleasurable experience of the body is the sexual orgasm. It also comes and goes very quickly, and we're not completely satisfied. We're always left wanting something more. So this is the nature of pleasure. Material pleasure comes and goes very quickly. But happiness is something much deeper than that. Happiness is an experience of complete satisfaction. You know how we all have a longing in life? Like many of us have travelled around the world, right? Anyone here backpacked or travelled from this country to that country? You know, you want to get out of your own backyard, right? You've seen everything there is to see in Darwin, right? It takes you about half a day. You know? And people are coming here. I notice there's lots of people come to Darwin, you know, lots of backpackers from different countries, right? So we're all looking for something, right? In fact, there are many, many songs written about how we're all looking for something. You know, what's that song by U2? You know, I've still not found what I'm looking for. Right? So we're actually looking for something which completely satisfies me, which doesn't leave me yearning for something which I don't have. Right? Just like when you at home and you go to the fridge and you open the door and you just stand there and look in. You know, you're not even actually looking for anything particular. You know, it might only be half an hour after dinner, if you've ever done that. You open the fridge and you just kind of stand there and someone asks you, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. You just close the door because you're really not sure. What we know is we're looking for something. And obviously I've still not found what I'm looking for. So there is a deep inner yearning, a deep inner longing for satisfaction. And as long as we identify ourselves with our bodies, we pursue that inner longing in the external world, in the world of matter, in the world of the external. But actually through yoga wisdom, understanding that we are not these bodies, understanding that we are spirit soul, we are the Atma, the self, the eternal being who is within the body, we begin to see with this insight of wisdom that we actually need spiritual food. We need spiritual nourishment. We need spiritual happiness, spiritual satisfaction. Now, of all the different experiences that we have had, the different things that we have owned, you know, there's this saying about, you know, we love things and use people. You ever heard that saying? You know, we get a new iPhone, a new smartphone, a new car, and you go, well, I really love this new dress. I really love this new thing that I have. But actually, these things don't satisfy us. There is something which we are all craving and all looking for. And what is it? What is it in the heart of our hearts that actually will satisfy that which we are looking for? It doesn't matter what culture we're brought up in, it doesn't matter what religion a person may be a part of, it doesn't matter what sex our body is, it doesn't matter the age of our body, from the youngest child to the oldest person. What is it that actually, truthfully, we are looking for? Happiness, we know, but where is that happiness? Anyone have any clue?
Love.
Love, yes, it's in the title of the talk tonight. So, there was a dead giveaway. Yes, it is love which actually satisfies. Things cannot satisfy that union. So I have some really nice things that I just wanted to share tonight in this connection. There is this, I've got many favourite things, but this is, I just want to read something which is very concise and very beautiful actually, and captures this perfectly. This is an article, if you like, or an essay written by a great spiritual personality, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it's called Preeti. Preeti basically can be translated as love. And this first part is about the sweetness of the word love. Love is a very sweet word. When it is spoken, a very sweet mood arises in the hearts of both the speaker and the listener. Though few are able to understand its true meaning, everyone still likes to hear the word. Is it not true? Someone actually says to you, I love you. Does it not change your day? Your day can be going it can be shitty. You know, there's someone who you care about and who cares about you, and they actually say in reality, I love you. Does that not change everything? I remember, I don't know if I'll go there or not. And so, well, maybe I will. When I was a teenager at school, I remember there was a particular guy, one of the boys at school, And he would always get the girls. You know? I mean, I was a handsome boy. And, you know, but I was kind of a little shy, believe that or not. And I just noticed this guy used to get all the girls. And he was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. But all the girls seemed to really kind of flock to him. And I wondered why. I thought, I'm going to do that. Then I found out what he would say. He would actually say, you know, these are, you're talking about, you know, 15, 16-year-old girls, right? And he would actually tell them he loves them. And that's how he would get to have his way with them, just by, because everybody wants to hear this word. Everyone's longing to be loved. Everyone wants to be loved, to love someone and to be loved by someone. And so, you know, the decision I made, well, that's it. Once I found that out, I was going, no more Mr. Nice Guy. You know, I was just going to go for it and also use the same thing. Actually, I never did, but anyway. But it just illustrates this reality. Even the word itself, love, changes everything. I'll read it again, I like it so much, if you don't mind. Love is a very sweet word. When it is spoken, a very sweet mood arises in the hearts of both the speaker and the listeners. Though few are able to understand its true meaning, everyone still likes to hear the word. All beings are controlled by love. Many will even give up their lives for it. I remember years ago, I think it was in Croatia and Serbia, there was a war. Is that where it was? Croatia and Serbia. I remember there was this one thing, there was this young teenage boy and teenage girl were from, I think was it like Christians and Muslims or something, is that what it was? Yeah. And there was this one particular bridge that was kind of in between the two sections, the Muslim section and the Christian section. There was, of course, fighting going on. But there was known to be some snipers who would actually watch the bridge. But there was this couple who were separated due to the conflict. But they were so much in love that this particular night they decided to meet, and they had to come across the bridge to see each other. And both were shot by they knew the risk was there, because it was known it was a sniper who would shoot people who was going across the bridge. So love is such a deep thing that people are actually willing to risk their lives to have it, to experience it. To love is the sole purpose of human life. Many think that the fulfillment of their selfish desires is the primary purpose of their existence, but that is wrong. For love, man can sacrifice all of his own self-interests. Selfishness causes man to strive only for his own happiness and autonomy, but love causes him to sacrifice all of his own interest for the sake of that thing or person that is dear to him. Whenever there is a clash between selfishness and love, love is victorious. So you may say, it's not what my experience is. But actually there is a difference between love and what is called karma. Karma, not in connection with reincarnation. Karma also means, there's no perfect English translation, but it means lust. It means lust. And when we say lust, we're not talking just a carnal lust, like a sexual lust. Lust means where a person is, well, we can put it this way, and as a saying, it's all about me. Do you ever know anyone like that? It's all about me. Life is all about me. What is in it for me? In relationships, it's all about what have you done for me lately? Has anyone ever said that to you? Have you ever said that to anyone? What's in it for me? What have you done for me lately? This is what is known as karma or lust. So there's lust where someone is simply selfishly trying to draw something from someone else will never be satisfying. It cannot satisfy the nature of the soul. The nature of the soul is to love and to be loved. And love is not selfish. Love is simply giving. If I'm expecting something in return from someone else, this is still in the category of lust or karma. And it cannot satisfy the self. How many of us, every single one of us, from the youngest child, even to the oldest person, is still striving and looking for that love. Sometimes you see articles or sometimes something on on YouTube or on TV. There'll be some people in in a nursing home. She's 87 and he's 92, and they marry. Right? Have you ever seen things like that? And and like on Facebook or whatever, it has 62 million views, and 150,000 comments. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen that kind of stuff? It kind of warms our heart because, even though they're so old, I'm talking from a younger point of view, like a young person's going, I mean, that's disgusting, like the teenager kind of things. You think, even when you think your parents actually kiss or anything like that, it completely grosses you out, right? They may actually show affection to someone that old, because, looking at the body's not in prime condition anymore, so kind of with that external vision, it looks a little bit. But actually, this is the fact. Our whole life is actually looking for that love, but not just love, but perfect love. Many years ago, my parents, they ran this is in the days before, what's it called, Tinder, is that what it's called? I'm married, so I don't have this on my phone. Is that what it's called, Tinder? Where you kind of swipe left or right, whether you like them or don't like them, something like that. And they have different dating websites. Well before this, in the 80s, my parents ran a dating club, a dating service. It was the worst thing they ever did in their whole life. My parents were kind of entrepreneur type people. They always had different kind of businesses and catering businesses and shops and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. And for some reason, they thought this could be a good business. So what it is, of course, people come in, they give their details and what they're looking for, their age, or and they give a little kind of spiel about themselves, and they give a bit of a spiel about what kind of person they're looking for, and it was my parents' job to match them up. What do you think? How would you like to have that job? They were getting phone calls at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 2 a.m. when things just turned belly up and weren't going too good. And of course, they called my parents to somehow to sort it out. So, not only are people looking for love, they're looking for perfect love. That's why we become dissatisfied, even with those who we fall in love with. Have you ever fallen in love with someone? The first time we do it, it's known as puppy love. Does anyone remember those days? Fondness, puppy love. The first love is so sweet and so innocent and so amazing and so wonderful. You think you've discovered something that no one else has ever done, because you see the faces of other people and other people who have been together for a while, and they're not as happy as you are, right? It's like there's this thing. There's so many songs like this. At one stage, I wanted to call this talk "Love is a Drug and I Need to Score," but my wife wouldn't let me. There's a band called Roxy Music. I don't know if you know that song. Love is a drug, and I need to score. I thought that might get people's attention, but anyway, we obviously didn't go that way. But there are so many songs, and what are most songs about? What is the majority of songs, other than Bob Dylan? Actually, Bob Dylan has a lot of good love songs. Other than protest songs or even the heavy metal stuff, what is the topic of most songs? And again, it's love. Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Can't you find somebody to love? Right? That's one kind of love song. We go, yeah. And then you have the kind of love song like, one of my favorites was The Police. Walking back from your house, walking on the moon. Walking back from your house, my feet, they don't hardly touch the ground. Walking back from your house, my feet, they don't make no sound. You remember that feeling? Have you ever had that feeling? When you just first fall in love and you're just like floating in air. So that's the other kind of love song. But there's another type of love song that we may have experienced and be familiar with. One of my favorites is Elvis Presley. I know he's an old dude, but so am I. He had this song called, I don't know if I can remember the lyric, Heartbreak Hotel. Since my baby left me, I've found a new place to dwell. Down the end of Lonely Street in Heartbreak Hotel. Doesn't that capture it perfectly? Has anyone here ever had a broken heart? Anyone? Hello, is anyone out there?
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone, you know what it's like to remember a broken heart? No? You're interested in fun. Yeah, I remember, well, I usually relate to people is when I was younger, I was a boxer, and I fought when I was 13 till I was about 20, so just amateur boxing. Some people think it's a bit of a wild sport, you can get hurt, things like that. Broken nose, broken fingers, cut eye, and things like that. It can be painful. But nothing comes close to the pain of a broken heart. Nothing is even close. If you had a choice, if anyone who's ever experienced the pain of a broken heart has been through that experience, particularly if it's kind of fresh, I would almost guarantee would rather be hit by Mike Tyson than go through it again. You don't know who Mike Tyson is. He's a big former world heavyweight champion who's a bit brutal. Most people would rather be smacked in the head with an iron rod than have to go through the pain of a broken heart, because that being smacked in the head passes much quicker and is less painful than the pain of a broken heart. So even though we're looking for it, and even though it is actually described as being an intrinsical part of our very nature, it's described like this in the Yoga Wisdom, that in the same way that you cannot separate the quality of wetness from water, it's inseparable. Wetness and water come together. Or also heat and light from fire. You cannot separate the nature of the soul, the nature of the self, from this desire to love and be loved. Many people having been through some of these broken hearts, a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them, are more guarded with their heart. They don't give it so freely or so easy because it is so painful. And some people vow never to love again. I remember there was a friend of our family, a Hungarian man. He, older man, much older than me. He was a friend of my brother for 40 years or something. Anyway, he'd been through a number of bad relationships. And he got to the point where he said, that's it, all women are bitches, and all I want to do is just hurt you, and I'm never going to do that again. That was his final conclusion after a few of them. I don't know if he considered that perhaps there was something he was doing, but well, it's a two-way street. So anyway, he made this decision, that's it, no more, finished, done with that, too painful. Because he was living in our house, my family house, and after a short time, he bought a kitten, or he got a kitten from a garage sale, a little kitten. And he's he's quite a gruff man. He's I don't know how else to describe it. And he would sit there, and he would pet the kitten. And he would go. So I'm not even exaggerating. And he would take the kitten into his room at night and lie there and cuddle the kitten. It's impossible. You cannot live. We can live, we can exist because we are eternal, but we cannot live, truly be alive without love. Anyone disagree with that? You can exist, we are eternal by nature, we will always exist, no matter what. But to truly live, we need to love. So what the point I'm leading to is that if through our experience of life, we are looking for this love, for this happiness which springs from love, because that is where true happiness is, it is in love, then we should question a little bit about, well, perhaps I'm looking in the wrong places, perhaps my approach to find this perfect love, because that's what we want. Just to tie off a little loose end that I haven't done yet, this dating service my parents had, and I think, I actually haven't seen Tinder, but I assume you have a profile where you put down what you're like, and you also put down the kind of person that you're looking for, the qualities of the person you're looking for. Is that?
Not even that.
Not even that's a picture. Photoshop picture, right? Well, what they used to do in those days was there'd be a list. That's, I want this kind of person at this age, like this, like that, this kind of blah, 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 right? So there'd be a list of things. So they're putting forward some of the qualities that they're looking for. Basically, I want a perfect person. I don't want an asshole. I don't want someone who's going to use me. I don't want someone who's going to exploit me. Well, let's share a little bit here. What would you like in someone to be with? What kind of qualities would you like in a person to share your life with? No one's game.
Honesty.
Honesty.
Compassion.
Compassion. Okay, have we got any more honest people here?
Big boobs.
Big boobs? No, this is all just being honest. Are they really, really physically unattractive? Or may they be attractive? Physically attractive is a good quality to have. Let's be totally honest here, right? You know, if you have a choice of twins, and they're both exactly the same kind of person, but one got hit by a truck and the other, No, we can be honest and say beauty is attractive. Of course, there is a real beauty, and then there is beauty which fades. You know, I mean, there's the beauty of, what's that? I don't know who said it. The sweet bird of youth has flown. Have you heard that saying? Sweet 16 turns into what? This is just saying, I'm not saying I agree with them. Sweet 16 turns into bitter 60. This is just sayings that are along. Sweet 16 turns into bitter. There's all, of course, not spiritual people who would say it or think things like this. So beauty obviously is an attractive thing. We are attracted to beauty. In nature, we're attracted to beauty. You know, if there's a rubbish dump and there's a sunset, come on, which one do you look at? Well, it's no difference. It's all one. It's just all, I'll look at the rubbish dump with the flies. No. We are naturally attracted to beauty. We don't have to pretend otherwise. And there's so many other qualities. We want someone who's funny, someone who accepts me as I am. Isn't that a big one? Someone who, even in my ups and downs, even when I'm kind of struggling and I'm in a shitty mood and I'm not treating you well, do we not want someone who will still accept me when I'm like that? If they only love me when I'm pretty or handsome or rich or, you know, funny, and that's the only time they love me, then it's not actually love yet, is it? It's not actually love. So in yoga wisdom, we understand that the reason why this search for perfect love is because it actually exists. We could not want it or desire it if it did not exist. And every single person in the world is looking for perfect love. Not conditional love. In fact, if it's conditional, it cannot be love. By definition, it cannot be love. There is no such thing as conditional love and unconditional love. It does not exist. Love, by its very definition, is unconditional. So what's this have to do with yoga? You know, earlier we were chanting different mantras. These mantras actually are names of the Supreme, cause of all causes, the source of everything. Now, when sometimes people ask about God, when we talk about God, what do we mean? Or the Supreme, what do we mean? We mean the cause of all causes, that from whom everything emanates. There is only one original cause of everything. There are not many gods. The Hindu God, Christian God, Buddhist God, Muslim God, you know, Greek God. No. The definition in yoga of the Supreme is the cause of all causes, that from whom everything and everyone emanates. So yoga means the linking up between the individual self, you, who you actually are, and the Supreme Soul. That is the definition of yoga, that linking up, that relationship. What is the highest nature of that linking up or that union? We're not going to go into, we don't have time to explore, this is a very vast topic. But the ultimate union is union of love. Oneness in love. You know, sometimes you hear in yoga talk about oneness, being one with everything, one with the Supreme. And usually it's expressed as an impersonal energy thing, where we become one with the ocean of everything, or the all-pervading energy. There is what is known as the Brahma Jyoti, or the all-pervading energy of the Supreme. But beyond this ocean of spiritual light or spiritual energy is the eternal, transcendental person from whom everything emanates. The cause of all causes. So earlier we're chanting this name, Krishna. Krishna does not belong to anyone. This name, Krishna, is a universal name that refers to the Supreme Soul. It has, we are not Hare Krishnas to sing the name Krishna. Krishna itself is one of the unlimited names of the Supreme Soul. God is one, but has unlimited names. Some people refer to the Supreme Soul by the name of Allah, which means all compassionate. Some people have the name Jehovah, which means all powerful. In the Vedic teaching, there are unlimited names of the Supreme. And the most intimate, the most complete, and the most perfect name to refer to the Supreme Soul is Krishna. Why? Because the name Krishna means all attractive. This is actually what the name Krishna means. The all-attractive Supreme Soul. The Supreme Father, Mother, Friend, and Lover of all living beings. So that longing of the soul for that perfection, for that oneness in love, that perfect person to love, my soulmate, does exist. We look for him in different people in this world. We think we've found someone who is the perfect person to love. In the beginning, the more we get to know someone, what happens? Our love grows, it grows. And then what happens the more we get to know someone? And the more you get to know them. And the more you get to know about them. And 5 or 6 or 10 years down the track. Is it ever increasing and ever fresh? Is that love ever expanding and you're finding more and more wonderful treasures within that person? Or has it just become the person that you now have and you're living with? At best, you get on. You get on pretty well, that's okay. As opposed to those early stages of the walking back from your place, my feet don't hardly touch the ground, period, right? That's kind of like the best we can hope for. Or we become what's known as serial monogamists. Kind of, well, that's finished, and then, well, okay, for some, sorry, I just don't love you anymore. No, it's not your fault, it's my fault. Isn't that one of the worst excuses you've ever heard? It's not you, it's me. Oh, that helps. Thank you. So there is those great yogis and transcendentalists who are explorers of the spiritual dimension, say there is this perfect soulmate who is ever fresh, who is perfect in every way. And this is actually your heart's desires for this perfect person. This perfect person has many names. And yoga is the process by which we come to re-establish that lost relationship. This is actually where perfect love is. Then when we actually are in union, in love, oneness in love with the Supreme, then we can truly love others. All of our other relationships, our partners, our friends, our family, our children, our parents, we are no longer trying to draw from them. We are no longer in lust with them. We actually can love them. Our cup is so full, our life is so satisfied by this perfect spiritual love that we can actually give to others completely, unconditionally, unselfishly. Because I'm not simply trying to cling on to this little drop of love which I'm getting from this person, because I'm in connection with the reservoir of all love. Like one of the names we sing is Krishna, but also Rama. This is another name for the Supreme Soul. And Rama means the reservoir or the source of all pleasure, happiness, and love. So when we are in connection, in union, in love, through this linking up process called yoga, your heart's desire will be fully satisfied, that love you're looking for. So what I want to do is just wrap up. I know I'm talking too long, so we only have more kirtan. But there's something very nice that I'd like to share that kind of captures this much more beautifully than I'm personally able to. It might just take me a moment to find it. Bear with me. Yes. This is something, again, I'd just like to read something that my spiritual teacher has written. And it is, please listen, it is very, very wonderful. A flower is by nature soft, sweet, and fragrant. So are we. We are tender, sensitive living beings. But due to being covered by layers of material elements, we appear hard even to ourselves. but in the depths of our heart we are soft. We desire to love and to be loved. To love is the living entity's happiness. It is the very nature of the soul. The rock does not love. Matter is dead energy. A corpse fails to exhibit love because the loving, living being has left the body. I want to feel love for you. I don't want to see you or treat you as a thing or an object to exploit and use. I want to see and treat you as you are, a person, a living being, a spirit soul who happens to be in a particular type of body. These bodies, like clothes, have particular names and titles, such as white, black, man, woman, Christian, Hindu, young, old, etc. But we are not these bodies or bodily designations. I don't want to see your clothes as being you, nor do I want to see my clothes as being me. I want to be friends with you. But real friendship is deeper than cocktail party friendship. It is soul to soul, person to person, living being to living being. Because we are all living beings, parts and parcels of the Supreme Being, we are all relatives in the truest sense of the word. God is our common Father, Mother, Friend, and Lover. Therefore, if I love the Supreme Spirit, then that love will expand to everyone. I will experience love for all of his parts and parcels. It is from this ocean of unlimited love that I desire to drink. I have tasted the sweet flavor of this nectarian ocean, and I crave to taste it again. I want to taste unlimited, eternal love. I am tired of living in a world of hard-heartedness, not just of others, but my own also. I am tired of living, yet being dead. I am tired of having conversations, but never communicating. I am tired of singing, but being without a song. I am tired of having friends, but never knowing them. I humbly ask to be forgiven by anyone, any one of you who may consider me to be a fool or a wishful thinker for wanting to go beyond the artificial, suffering world which we all know. And I invite anyone who shares this desire to taste with me the sweet flavor of transcendental sound and to be transported to the eternal realm of love of God, Krishna, the real friend of each of us. So that encapsulates what I want to communicate today. This is not a vague thing. God is not a mystery. It's very unfortunate that people think God is a mystery or the Supreme Soul is simply a void, impersonal light ray or energy. You cannot love the sky. You cannot love energy. You cannot give your heart, your deepest longing for love, your heart, to an impersonal light, even if the light is spiritual. Ultimately, beyond this ocean of spiritual light is a supreme, unlimited, transcendental friend and personality, whose love is perfect, who I can know deep within my heart. So within my heart, this wisdom and spiritual love is already there within my heart. It's not something I have to gain from heaven or from this person or that person. That perfect, pure, satisfying ocean of spiritual love resides within me. It's the elixir of love, known as the Supreme Soul. So within the heart, we, the living being, the Atma, the Self, we are living within the heart. This is where it's described in yoga. We sit within the heart. That's why the heart beats, and that's where life comes from, because we, the Self, sit there. But it's described sitting next to me is an expansion of the Supreme Friend, the Lord within my heart. So there are two spirit souls, or two Atmas within the heart, me, the individual soul, and the Supreme Soul who is sitting next to me. So meditation and yoga means to again link up to that Lord of my heart who will fully satisfy me. And then because of that, because of tasting a drop of that unlimited love, I'm actually able to have truly loving relationships with others. All of my relationships change because of that. Because I no longer need them like a person in the desert thirsting for water. Even a drop of water is better than nothing. But a drop is not enough to satisfy your thirst, correct? You need an oasis of crystal clear water. So we're trying to find that love that we're looking for in each other. Because we're all a spark of God, therefore we have those same qualities as Supreme. But a drop cannot satisfy my heart's yearning for an ocean of unlimited love. That's why we become attracted to each other, because love, we are particles of love, but small sparks. And we need the whole ocean of love to satisfy our longing. And this is the process of yoga. And this process of kirtan, this hearing, singing, meditating, taking these names of the Supreme within our heart and embracing these transcendental names, is actually how we get to taste and get in touch with the Lord of our heart. That love can be experienced through these divine names, these holy names of the Supreme. These names are not material. They are completely transcendental. In fact, it is described, there is no difference between the holy name of the Supreme and the Supreme Soul. They are the same nature, spiritual nature. So these names of the Supreme's practice of kirtan could factually be described as transcendental love songs. Singing these names of the Supreme is actually a love song between us and the Supreme Soul. And this love, but the difference is these love songs of the holy names will satisfy my heart. And there is no heartbreak hotel with these love songs. It is completely satisfying. So our request on behalf of our spiritual teachers and saints and sages and the Supreme Soul, do not think that this practice of meditation is just, she has a nice voice, she sings beautifully, it's pleasant. This is actually what our hearts are yearning for. If you take these names in your life, if you hear and sing and meditate upon these holy names, these transcendental sounds, you will gradually, step by step, begin to experience that wisdom, that love, that ocean of love that you are looking for, because you are becoming one in love with the Supreme Soul through transcendental sound. Thank you very much.